How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be explaining the first thing you should do in Diamond Dynasty within MLB The Show 22. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We've had 4 of the face of the franchise diamonds revealed so far in Ronald Acuna, Aroldis Chapman, Wander Franco, and Cedric Mullins. I've only been able to predict one of these cards correctly. There will be more revealed soon, and they are all right at the 90 overall range, which is kind of what I was expecting. And they are going to be some of the best diamonds that you can earn for free once the game is launched. And I'm going to explain how to get these cards very quickly for no money spent players. This is the first thing that you will want to do within Diamond Dynasty. So we're going to go into what's called Single Player Showdown. And I have made several Showdown videos specifically talking about how to unlock these cards and how to earn Team Affinity vouchers, which earn you stars within the Team Affinity program, unlocking these amazing diamonds. Now, once the game is released, we will probably only have Season 1 Team Affinity and the Starter Showdown available. Now, you might not be able to unlock a gold Shane Bieber, but you will be able to unlock a different gold card. Anyway, I'm going to take you through a draft, and we can almost envision that these players, right, the Season 1 face of the franchise diamonds are in MLB The Show 22. So I'm going to show you what that might look like. You have an opportunity to try some of these cards out, but the main thing that I'm going to focus on is skipping all of these missions and skipping to the final boss in Showdown. Now, if you are a brand new player to MLB The Show, this is going to be pretty challenging. This is something that will take some practice, but you can eventually do it. If you try skipping to the final boss and it's a little bit too challenging, then you can complete the individual missions leading up to the final showdown. You can upgrade your team that way. Not necessarily your Diamond Dynasty squad, but your Showdown squad for the specific run and trying to complete the showdown. If you complete all of the missions, you should only have to score 1 run and walk off the computer at the end. But let's go ahead and take you through a draft. We can envision these face of the franchise diamond cards in place of the 42 cards that we had in last year's game. I like the fact that they're 2 attribute points higher in overall. But you want to focus on power and speed. I'm going to speed things up a little bit because these players are going to be, some gold, some silvers, some bronzes, and of course the face of the franchise diamonds. But the most important piece of this entire draft are these perks here, because they can turn those bronze cards, silver cards, and gold cards into better players. And if you are skipping to the final boss, you want perks that help you with hitting, and hitting in specific counts, or exit velocities in specific counts. Not necessarily increased pitch break or increased pitch control. If you're doing the individual pitchers' missions, then maybe you want to pick one of those perks. But for this specific method, it doesn't matter if you have players out of position. It doesn't matter what their fielding is. It only matters what these perks are and their power and speed attributes. Because you're going to put these guys out of position. You're only going to hit. You're going to try and score 13 runs before earning 15 outs. I think the run differential will still be the same. I don't know. It could be in an identical mode with brand new rewards, and that's kind of why I'm making this video. But as you can see here, I'm putting a guy on my bench with 92 speed. You really only need 1 or 2 pinch hitters and 1 or 2 pinch runners, just in case you get into a double play type of situation. Because you have 15 outs to work with, the base runners do not reset. I'm going to explain that a couple times in this video, but you can hit into a triple play or a quadruple play somehow in this showdown mode. I'm going to mute the microphone so you can listen to my past self. This is going to be some gameplay from a previous video that I discussed how to beat Showdown every single time by skipping to the final boss, how to unlock some of these free diamonds. We're going to hit the options button, we're going to skip to the end, and we're going to start this up. It's on veteran difficulty, and hopefully you all enjoyed the past self commentary. Here I'm in a 2-2 count. I have 2 perks activated, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. You only need singles. You need to get guys on base, and that is it. Because you're now going to steal second and third without having 8 runs. You can do this until you get 8 runs. You can consistently steal second and third. They're not even going to cover the bag and I'm guessing that this will eventually get patched. So I'm trying to do this as much as I can right now in order to complete the Team Affinity program entirely. I have all the 42 cards that you can buy off the market. I really want to get that Jackie Robinson card, and a couple people have already unlocked that Jackie Robinson by doing this method. So all I'm doing is I'm going to steal second and third after getting a couple of singles. Once you score 8 runs, then you'll have to actually hit. And the reason I say that is because once you get 8 runs, they will actually cover the bag, and you won't be able to steal with, 13 speed or 5 speed. You won't be able to successfully take that base. So that's why you need speed on your bench as well. If you are down to the last few runs and you need to get a few base runners in scoring position, then you can use the speed in order to do so. But I wanted to take you through an entire run here because not only am I using these perks when there's guys on base, but I'm trying to use these perks when there's guys not on base as well. I'm going to try and track pitches, not right here. I put my controller down as I was trying to create this video. But I'm going to move the PCI to the ball and try and practice tracking the baseball. We're on veteran difficulty, so I'm trying to take pitches regardless, and you can be practicing while you're doing this. Of course, this will take some extra time. You're not swinging at every single pitch, but you will not be wasting time in failing these showdown attempts. Now, I have failed a couple of times, I'll be honest, but for the most part, I've completed it 90%, 80% of the time, somewhere in that range. I think this method will help you improve your plate discipline as well, just by watching the baseball, even though it's only on veteran difficulty. But as you can see here, even with guys on base, I'm still trying to take until you have 2 strikes. Another thing you have to keep in mind is that when you allow people to get in scoring position, second and third base, the clutch attribute is activated, and it becomes much easier to hit that way, especially if you have these active perks for every single hitter in these counts. I think that it makes it a lot easier to hit with bronze cards, to hit with silver cards, and that's kind of why I'm making this video. There are probably a lot of people out there that want these Team Affinity players, that want to try and get Jackie Robinson, that are having to spend a lot of time completing the individual missions leading up to the final showdown. You don't necessarily have to do that, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it right now. So with that said, I'm at 10 outs. I got a couple of outs here and there that I didn't show in terms of clips, but I did not really do that well down the final stretch here. I mean, I have 10 outs, so I should be able to complete this, scoring 4 runs, and I have some speed on my bench. So I'm going to try and take second base, and that's for multiple reasons. I'm taking this base to activate the clutch attribute. The pitcher's confidence is completely lowered all the way, and when I score this 10th run, for whatever reason, the pitcher will automatically get a bit of confidence, and you can see that by pressing R2. Now, as soon as you hit a home run, he lowers his confidence all the way back down to nothing. So that is going to significantly help you finish the showdown off. Now, you will come across, certain swings where you hit perfects, right to people, line drives, ground balls, you have perfect PCI placement, you have perfect swing timing, and you just don't get rewarded. That's why you want to try to leave yourself as many outs as you can towards the end of this, because you can hit into some double plays like I did in the last at-bat. You can strike out a couple of times if you're taking until 2 strikes almost every single at-bat. And I wanted to try and show you all this because this mode is kind of frustrating if you're failing it a bunch of times, if you're wasting a lot of your time, but it is also very easy if you stay patient. This is a great way to practice zone hitting. This is a great way to practice plate discipline, as I mentioned earlier. But it's also a good way to practice your base running. I have no idea what these players are doing as I'm pressing L1, but you don't really want to be too risky in this situation. You can bunt the runners over. Now that the infield's in, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but you can try it if you want to. I would also not steal because you can bunt into a triple play, which I've done in an online game of ranked seasons. Anyway, we were able to complete this method in this way, and I've been able to complete it using this method, countless amount of times. We're almost all the way through the AL Central. We're almost all the way through the AL West. I'm working on, getting those showdowns complete. I'm about 30 away now, but I'm halfway there, it looks like, or maybe a little bit more. I'm not even exactly sure. Now here we are back in the present. Hopefully we will be able to exchange these vouchers 5 at a time. I know they did an update later on in the year, but keep in mind that this is still MLB The Show 21. It should look almost identical to this type of screen right here in MLB The Show 22. But the main reason why you want to do this first in Diamond Dynasty is because a lot of the card prices are inflated on the market. You get a ton of free packs, some flashback legend players, potentially some prospects depending on how they do that this year. Prospects were included in Conquest last year. They might flip-flop those. I don't know. But you can unlock diamonds for free packs, Team Affinity packs, Ballin' is a Habit packs, a variety of packs that will give you increased odds at pulling live series diamonds, which are usually inflated at the release of the game. This is by far the easiest way to build your stubs up, by opening up these free packs, by earning guaranteed diamond choice packs that will be face of the franchise 90 overall players, some of which could be, big name players that might have gold cards, that might have, higher 90 overall diamonds. But as you can see, I pulled a live series diamond here, and this is pretty solid. Any diamond early on in the game is going to go for a decent amount. Here we got a Jose Abreu. At this specific time, I wasn't looking to use Jose Abreu, even though he was playing up to an 88, right around the same overall of the players that I was unlocking. I was trying to kind of save my stubs and use them in different ways. But you can see that some gold players are going for a few thousand. Silver players are going for a few hundred stubs. You can really build your stubs up early on with this type of method. But this is the number one thing I would recommend. I would try your best to kind of skip to the end. Try it a few times. If it's challenging for you, then maybe complete a few of those missions. Try and work on some of those earlier showdowns, right? Not necessarily the final showdown boss, but the earlier showdowns as practice, because it can be a little bit nerve-wracking once you get towards the end of this. You don't really want to waste a lot of time. So I'm not trying to have people waste a bunch of time, but at the same time, this is the fastest way to unlock these cards if you're able to skip to the end. Hopefully I was able to help you out in some way. I'm extremely excited for more of these reveals and the release of MLB The Show 22. Hope you have a good time playing, and peace out.